Welcome to another edition of Because They Matter. Forever on a mission, committing to encouraging, educating, and empowering parents, raising their children in an impactful and loving way. Because they matter. Now let's welcome our co-hosts, former single-parent mom and founder of Single Parent Advocate in Dallas, Texas, Stacie Martin. Also along, founder of Single But Not Alone and the reigning Miss Capital City, Illinois, Rhiannon Graham. And I'm Scott Murray, speaker, author, journalist, and CEO of the Scott Murray Scholarship Foundation and Lifting Spirits, Building Dreams. We welcome you all to Because They Matter. Hello again, everybody. Great to have you along as we welcome you all to another edition of Because They Matter, as we talk about the most important people in our entire world, our children. That's right. We're talking about everybody that makes a difference in the lives of those that need it most, and certainly our young people, keeping them positive and productive and just very passionate about who they are and what they're all about and what their purpose is in life and how they have to feel confident and most courageous about everything they're a part of. And I have with me three young ladies that have certainly been a part of that over the years. Why don't you introduce yourself? Stace, we'll start with you, my friend. Go for it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stacie Martin. I'm the founder of Single Parent Advocate. We're sure glad that you're back. And I'm very excited to be talking about our topic today, which is going to be about quality time with our kids over the holidays, even though our schedules are crazy and the world seems crazy. And bringing along Rhiannon Graham with me, who is the founder of Single But Not Alone, and one of our community members and volunteers, Miss Jelesa Warren, who has been contributing at Single Parent Advocate, Scott. So I'm really excited to get all of the family together. Rhiannon, you want to say a couple words before we jump in?
Yeah, I'm just really excited to be back and get into this holiday crazy season and talk about all the things we're thankful for, and with the holidays coming up, also the power of a gift.
And what about you, Jelesa? What's on the top of your mind today?
You say holiday craziness and it resonates with me. So I'm just so excited to talk about how we wrangle the craziness and enjoy the quality time with our kiddos, and really just excited to be in this space with you all.
Well, let me start it off here by asking all three of you, what to you is the most important thing that we might be able to share with our children during the holiday season, and for that matter, during the course of the year, but more specifically during the holiday season? Is there something that you might do a little differently, or the expectations of what they expect, what they might be? Who'd like to start? Jelesa, would you like to start?
Yeah, that's a good question. For us, one, we had to kind of recalibrate on what our traditions and what Christmas means for us as a family, especially being that we're a split family home now. And so we really focus on spending quality time with our loved ones, and making sure that we're having unique experiences. So for my kids, one holiday they're with one parent, and the next holiday they're with another parent. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on top of all of the holiday performances that they're doing. So we're seeing family come together, different dynamics. And so I have to always encourage them that it's an opportunity to have different experiences for Christmas with each person that they're with. And the same thing even for Thanksgiving. So we really focus on quality time with all of our family members, and then coming back and talking about what we enjoyed the most and what was different, what was a new tradition, so we can spin the change and the craziness in a positive way.
And kind of create a legacy for your own family and children.
Exactly.
Okay. How about you, Rhiannon? What comes to mind?
I think the holiday seasons are always so crazy for every family. I think everyone can relate to that. So this holiday season, my mom and I were actually talking a couple days ago, and we really want to focus on standing still this holiday season and really diving deep into what our traditions are. Stacy's clapping for me. Thank you, Stacy. We run like crazy for school, for being a title holder in the Miss America opportunity. My mom works 2 jobs. And this holiday season, honestly, we're looking forward to staying home, continuing our tradition of making holiday cookies. My mom makes the best fudge during the holiday. It is literally unimaginable. I'm gonna have to send some to Texas. I know it's very naughty, but just really finding peace in this holiday season and standing still to spend that quality time with your family members is so important.
Stace, how about it?
Well, there's no standing still in my world because, I'm the lucky founder of a community of families. Single Parent Advocate is serving 100 to 150 families this Thanksgiving season. And that didn't feel like standing still. But I will say this, for the first time ever, we had a gathering where we brought in catered holiday food when we all sat together for the first time. So, for those of you who don't know, Single Parent Advocate is 15 years old. And we've always brought in grocery items and things that are, supplies to make a nice holiday meal to empower single families to be able to cook at home. But we've never actually sat down as a community and eaten together. So we did that last weekend. And I have to tell you, Rhiannon, that was just amazing. We got to sit down and talk and take pictures. And one of the original board members, who is named Evelyn Dickerson, surprised us and came. She drove like 150 miles with one of her sons to come and see us. And we haven't seen her in a long time. And so you're right. If we sit still, I think the energy around us settles.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at sitting still. I just have to confess that. I'll just chase my tail for the sake of chasing my tail.
I also
It's a
am,
terrible
but
habit.
I think that was your way of standing still and reflecting on these past amazing 15 years of what you've done and finally being able to have that get together. So that's amazing and kudos to you.
Yeah, we had it catered by a new coffee shop here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area called Cerulean Blue. And that was opened up by one of our sponsors called Expo Home Improvement. And the other thing that was kind of crazy is one of our area corporations donated 50 bicycles for families. And so Expo Home Improvement went with me to Associa, which is here, and they put together like 600 bicycles, 50 of which are being contributed to our families. And then also for the holidays, the Dallas Bankers Club selected Single Parent Advocate to be a recipient of some of their donations for their holiday gathering. And so I haven't felt like I've stood still, and I think that's an amazing goal. I know, Scott, you haven't been standing very still. Tell us what you're up to. Maybe reflecting on all of this together is the best way we can talk about it. How do we make holidays less crazy and have more quality time?
Well, I don't know that we can make it less crazy, but I think as long as we're doing things in a positive, productive way, that's what really matters. You have to have purpose in everything you do every single day. And I think when it comes to being this time of year, be it Thanksgiving, be it Christmas, be it Hanukkah, whatever it might be, I think that we're all hopefully a little more benevolent, a little more philanthropic, a little more concerned about others than we are about ourselves. Santa Claus, when we were a kid, we were anticipating what the man was going to fly down the chimney with on Christmas Day and leave at the the bottom of the Christmas tree. But that's when you're a child, and that's the anticipation of what it's going to be like and what have you. I have my first grandson. He's 15 months old now, but I so look forward to Christmas now because he's beginning to recognize things now at that age, and as young as he is, and learning to walk and what have you. It's fun to see him just anticipate every little thing. And so I look forward to that. But I think that just when I think of Christmas or the holiday season, I think of children. And I remember as a kid, my parents were both very philanthropic. We didn't have millions of dollars or anything. It was just that they like to give to others to make a helping hand. And I remember going to the food bank with my mother when I was all of 7, 8 years old. And I think I've told this story to you, Stacie, before. I lost my best friend of leukemia when we were both in second grade, both 7 years old. And it came just before Christmas. It actually happened on the 3rd of November. We went trick-or-treating together and had a great time. We came home and my mom and dad had 2 Maxwell House coffee cans sitting on the kitchen counter when we came back, and they said, "Did you get lots of candy? And what'd you get? And oh, look at that. Oh, how exciting that is for trick-or-treating and what have you." And then we just went in the little neighborhood where we were, so that they knew where we were and that everything was all right and we were safe. But we came back, and then 4 days later, little Frankie, my buddy, his parents were in our 2nd grade class, and we didn't understand, why are Frankie's parents here? Well, they proceeded to tell us that he had been diagnosed with leukemia, and he was gone in about 6 months. And so that's when I decided I was going to become a pediatrician someday, and went off to college to become a pediatrician. But ever since then, I think of the little coffee cans that my mother, and she had wrapped around them the word UNICEF, UNICEF. And she said, "Okay, boys," meaning me and my buddy Frankie and my little sister. She said, "The 3 of you now can go out and you're going to collect some money, not some candy, but some money. And then we'll write a check to the United Nations and to the children of different countries around the world, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia, whether it's Europe, wherever it might be, to help those that don't have candy, don't have food, don't have a place to live, don't have a place to sleep, just don't have a mom and a dad like you do." So we did that, and then because of Frankie's passing, about 6-8 months later, our entire class did that on his behalf for UNICEF until we graduated. And we did it at this time of year. We did it right before Thanksgiving is when we did it. Well, we went trick-or-treating and for the UNICEF like that. But then at Thanksgiving, we did some things with the food bank. And that's when I was introduced to all that. My mother was involved, and she got all of the boys and girls in the class. So we were doing it when we were seniors in high school, and it just made it became a tradition. So I think things like that, when you can give back and make a difference in the lives of those that do need it most, I think that's really what sets us apart and helps those that certainly. Stacie, you're helping every day with with your children's advocate, and just single parent advocate, I mean, and the children that are from single parents. It makes a difference. It really does. And of course, same thing at Christmas time. You just see we're involved in our company Murray Media set up and is sponsoring the Ronald McDonald House at North Park Mall here in Dallas. And it's just it's all kids, it's all toys, but just to give them an opportunity, those that don't have need a helping hand. And our Children's Cancer Fund that I've been on the board with since the 1980s. Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, a couple of Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys. They've been involved over the years. And it's just helping those that need a helping hand, and it becomes a tradition. And that's certainly
you're right, Scott. The process, when I look back at, being a single mom, of the holidays was always filled with, volunteering at our church or volunteering, not everybody's founded a nonprofit. Like, I'm crazy, I get that. But, when you go and you give together, volunteering at a food bank or volunteering at your church or volunteering together as a family is one of the best ways to fully connect, especially during the holidays.
Well, it's the ultimate gift you could give anybody. We all looked at, I wonder what we're going to get for Christmas, or who's going to give what gift or whatever. But doing that for others, it's the ultimate gift, just giving of your time. You don't have to be a millionaire. If you can write a check or share some dollar bills with somebody, that's fine. But it's giving of your time and your talent, and showing that you have the heart to be a difference maker. That's what, like I've always said, live your life as a go-getter, but share your life as a go-giver. And that's what we need to be this time of year. That becomes a great tradition. How about
and a lot of parents, Jelesa kind of spoke to this. A lot of parents are separated from their children during the holidays because of the alternating visitation and custody things that go on. And even if you're alone as a parent, during a holiday, getting up and going to contribute or volunteer somewhere can also be equally meaningful, I would think, because you don't feel so alone. I don't know, Jelesa, do you have something to maybe suggest?
Yeah, the holidays are hard. Especially, for me, I love Christmas. And I remember as I was edging up to my first Christmas without my kids and like trying to really wrap my head around what that would mean and just kind of trying to anticipate how I'm going to feel because you do feel lonely. And I also think like being in a space with family as a single parent, especially if that family is not like inclusive when it comes to single parenting, that's a whole different experience in itself. But for me, and this, I actually got this piece of advice in my divorce care group where they said, come up with traditions that are different than what you were doing as a family of four. And then it doesn't always have to fall on the holiday. Like Christmas isn't just Christmas because it's on the 25th. You have the ability for Christmas to be on the 28th, or maybe Christmas is going to be on the 16th. And I started really framing it that way for my kids that Christmas is whenever we choose to celebrate it. So for example, this Christmas, they will be with their dad. So my family knows from their grandparents to their aunts and uncles, that means we're celebrating Christmas the first 2 weeks of December.
Mhm.
And we're not going to speak on, oh, I hate that you're going here. I actually try not to put that into my kids. I always try to make sure they understand you're going into another great experience to support the relationship they have with their dad. But it's kind of they don't even really think about the actual Christmas day, which is amazing because they know when they get home on the 28th, our family is still going to be here. We're going to have Santa from across the street walk over, and it's still going to feel like Christmas. So I think for not putting so much pressure on, I have to celebrate on the actual holiday for it to be important. You're the one that gets to control the importance of the holiday.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Rhiannon, how about you?
So growing up, I kind of had a unique experience having divorced parents. I would wake up on Christmas and at my mom's house, and I would open gifts here, do the Christmas thing with mom till about noon, and then dad would come pick me up, and I would be with dad for the rest of the day. So my parents split the day on Christmas always. And for as long as I can remember, I've had two Christmases, and I'm sure your children, both of your children, can relate. And, it was really hard growing up, but I really tried to change my mindset lately instead of being like, oh, I have to have two Christmases. I have two Christmases. I have two separate families. To more like, wow, I have the ability to be filled with more love, to have two different settings where I get to see different sides of my family because some people don't have that opportunity. So I really tried to reinvent my thinking and my vision for my Christmases, but it's hard because I leave mom, alone here on Christmas, so that breaks my heart. But as an adult, things have been better and I'm just trying to really re-envision the holidays with as a young adult with divorced parents.
Let me ask all three of you a question. As you think back to your childhood, uh, again, don't know your past history, whether your parents were divorced at a young age, or I mean that you were young, or when it might have happened, whether you're in high school or whether you're in grade school. But aside from all of that, I just wondered, what do you remember most about Christmas? What it meant to you, and now all these years later, that you might have learned from those early days as a child at Christmas time, and how you in turn want to make it right for your kids. What comes to mind? Who would like to start? Just jump
I'll
on board.
start.
Okay, go for it.
So, my dad and mom were together up until I was like 19, and then they divorced. But we owned a meat market. And so at Christmas and Thanksgiving, it was a feast to be had. I mean, dad and mom, all of us, we would cook and have all the employees and everybody over. And really, it was our extended family. And the cooking cooking together was something that kept us together. And the second thing I remember the most is playing games. We would play cards or dominoes or whatever we, could, Yahtzee, and playing games together was very uniting also. So whether we were cooking or playing games, and then, of course, Dad was amazingly attached to the Dallas Cowboys. And so we lost him whenever the Cowboys started to play. But, it was fun. And I don't know. What about you guys? Rhiannon and Jelesa, what do you remember about your Christmas and Thanksgivings
Go ahead,
besides
Rhiannon.
the shuffle?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little earlier, my mom and I have a lot of baking traditions. So I always remember the house being smelled with all the good goodies of fudge and cookies, and we would dip pretzels in chocolate and put M&Ms on them and all these different traditions. But we also love to go see different Christmas lights. We would drive around, bring the dog because our dog is family. We've always had golden retrievers, and we would bring the dog to go see Christmas lights, whether that was at Yogi Bear or we have a Holiday Lane that's in Wisconsin over the border by us. So it's filled with memories, but I think it's also important that I woke up on Christmas and my mom was always so prepared with so much love and stockings in the form of a gift. But she always made sure that the big things were from her and not from Santa. And I think that's something important to note for parents out there, that not all parents can afford to buy the most expensive things. So that shouldn't be from Santa because the child doesn't understand why their friend got this huge gift and they didn't.
Jelesa, how about it?
That is such a great point, Rhiannon. And it's so thoughtful too. Very similar. My parents, they were actually married. They are still married. They've been married about 35, 36 years now. But when we were growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom and my dad was working. So we didn't have a ton of money for gifts. And we focused on like going to see Christmas lights. Cooking was very big for our family and actually planning out that menu. And my mom just loves baking and crafting a really great Christmas menu. So we focused a lot on the experiences that we were having together and sharing. But it's funny, right? Because now I have kids and my parents are now grandparents, and you almost change into a different person. Because for me, Christmas, you might see 5 or 6 gifts under the Christmas tree. For my kids, the Christmas, you can't see the Christmas tree because it's covered in gifts. So they're getting a completely different experience and I'm witnessing a different one. And I am still kind of in that same spirit of like, I just want to spend time with everyone. I want to cook with them. But it's really great to see my parents being able to be in a new season of life and provide their grandchildren with things that they were not able to necessarily provide from a material standpoint for us. So it's a full circle moment.
Yeah,
It
it
sounds
sure
like
is. It sure
oh,
is.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it sounds like we need to get our moms in the kitchen together during Christmas to bake together.
Yes, and I want the fudge recipe.
Yes, yes.
But what about the power of a toy? People talk about, kids get this toy, that toy. I'm just curious, it's kind of two parts, and I want to ask you three of you on this. The power of a toy that you might have gotten as a child. Do you remember the one toy or the one gift, whether it was from mom and dad, whether it was from Santa Claus, whoever it was, but somebody in the family made, and preferably a mom or dad or Santa gave you a gift that you'll remember the rest of your life, and what impact it had on you, and then just the impact of a toy to a child today, and the power of a toy and how important it is that each child just has something to, wow, look at, I got this for Christmas. This is, and how special it is. And like I said, it's something that most of you or all three of you probably remember. If you think back about it, there's one thing that really comes to mind. Stace, you want to start?
Well, I can remember two toys. One was a baby doll. It was a little girl, baby doll, and I called her sister. And I drug sister around till her head fell off. And then I think my mom had to replace her because I was still young and I was too upset. So she replaced sister headless sister with a new sister.
Maybe
And then I
a
drug her
stepsister.
around till her head fell off. So the baby doll was really, really special to me. And then the second gift I remember getting that was, really cool was a puppy. We got a little poodle one year. We named her Christy because we got her at Christmas. And so we loved that little dog. And um, those were two things that were really reflective of my need for companionship, right? A doll and a dog.
Yep.
And so the power of the toy in my life, I think, was a special friend that gave me a
Okay.
special friend.
Good answer. Rhiannon?
I was really blessed with a mom who worked 2 to 3 jobs to make sure that on Christmas morning that I woke up with something under the tree, and I could sit here and tell you all about the Barbie dream house that I got and all the different things, but I think it's really important to note as an adult and now reflecting on financial situations, that I just woke up with toys. I don't know how she did it looking back, with all the struggles that we were really struggling to even put food on the table. And I don't want to get too emotional, but I'm just so grateful to have had a mother. Thank you for the heart. To have had a mother that sacrificed so much that the tree was filled and the house was filled with so much love. And the parents that are out there listening today that are struggling to buy that Christmas dinner or to buy their children gifts, I really want to fill your cup today and say that you are not alone, and that there are millions of parents, single parents, and two income families even that are struggling this holiday season, and there is resources available to you through nonprofits like Single Parent Advocate. So please, please reach out if you are in that kind of need.
Jelesa?
Yeah, I think, for me, my parents were always really good as far as like fueling my interest. And I was like I just loved the Xanga and coding websites so much. And so they decided to get me a computer. And it was like, the old school like desktop, and you have the huge hardware disk. But it fueled so many passions for me. I got really interested in computer science and, studied that in school. And to this day, I am a huge techie because of that gift. And so I should probably tell them thank you the next time I talk to my mom, because I loved it and I could only imagine how much a computer costs at that point. So that's what I think about.
Do you have anything in particular that you remember as a specific toy that changed your life that you'll never ever forget receiving, that it just kind of set the tone as to who you are and what you're all about?
I think probably this will age me, but like whenever the Mulan movie came out, I had the opportunity to see it with my parents,
When you were in
and
second grade, so you weren't that old, right?
I wasn't that old, but that's why I say I don't like to put it out there. But they ended up gifting me the doll. And at that time, I was able to also witness my grandmother who collects dolls, and they're all like beautifully preserved. And I wanted that for myself so bad. And that started a tradition where my parents would always gift me a collectible doll. And me and my grandmother were able to share in our passion of collecting those dolls, discussing and kind of understanding the care behind that as well. So it just kind of was another connecting point with family for me.
We've got about 2.5 minutes left. So let's just go around, the three of you. Tell us, if you could, have the opportunity to, and you had a classroom full of, 50 children. What's the message that you're going to share about the holiday season, be it Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it might be? What's the one message you'd like to share with them? Stace, you want to start?
Well, my message is always, if you feel alone, reach out. You can feel alone in a crowded room. You can feel alone even though your schedule is stacked. And I think that we get lost in our own self-imposed obligations to give and give and give and give. And the best gift you can give your child is a happy, healthy, whole, and hopeful mom or dad. And that's what my prayer is for everyone, is that we would, take some time to reach out and be with our kids,
Right.
Scott, certainly
Yeah.
with our families, but sometimes
Okay.
those guys
Yeah.
are not around and
Yeah.
we're there in the room with ourselves. So
Totally understand.
reach
Yeah.
out, everybody.
That's good. Okay, 30 seconds, Rhiannon. What
It's
works?
the thought that counts. I don't think it's how big the gift is, how expensive the gift was. If someone got you a gift, that means they were thinking about you and they care about you.
Great answer. Jelesa, 30 seconds.
Rest and time are gifts too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let me close with a poem. You know me, rhyme has reason. I'm writing my third book and it's all about rhyme. Here's one about, to me, it's how we treat our children. It's not just what we say to them, it's how we say them, how we say it. As the poem goes, I got 2 A's, the small boy cried. His voice was filled with glee. His mother turned and rudely said, but why didn't you get 3? Mom, I've got the dishes done, the girl called from the door. Her mother turned and rudely said, but did you sweep the floor? I mowed the grass, the tall boy said. I put the mower away. His father turned and rudely said, but did you clean off all the clay? Now the children in the house next door seemed happy and content. The same thing happened over there, but this is how it went. I got 2 A's, the small boy cried. His voice was filled with glee. His mother turned and smiled and said, I'm glad you live with me. Mom, I've got the dishes done, the girl called from the door. Her mother turned and smiled and said, each day I love you more. I mowed the grass, the tall boy said. I put the mower away. His father turned and smiled and said, you've made me happy today. Children desire a little praise for things they're asked to do. If they're to lead a happy life, so much depends on you. So make it an incredible holiday season, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever it might be. The 4 of us certainly wish you a very, very happy holiday. Stay safe, be strong, be kind, be respectful, and merry, 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 whatever it might be. Thanks to all 3 of you. So long, everybody, and thanks for this edition of Because They Matter. All right, we're done.
I
Yes.
love
I
it.
love
Dr.
that
Seuss at me.
poem.
I loved that.
Thanks. Here's another one. I'll do it real fast before we move on to the next one. I'm writing the 3rd book, and Stacie's heard this one, but my keynote across the country is Leadership America, creating champions of change through a culture of civility, because people have lost the ability to be kind, courteous, and respectful. So I'm doing all these 3-verse poems, and so this one goes: living life is not just about me. A purposeful life is all about we. Sharing together all that we see, even though we might not always agree. Respectful and kind is forever key. Truthful and transparent is what we should be. Eradicating the anger and the hateful debris. Live not in a world where we need referees. So let us move forward in a place we foresee, diverse and inclusive for both he and she. Matters not religion nor race, faith is for thee. We must live in our home that's our home of the free, live in a world that's our home of the free. So, all right, enough on that. Stacie goes, oh, Scott, I've only heard that 1,000 times. So
I did not say that.
I know you
Did
did.
you
I'm
guys
just
hear me
playing with
say
you.
that?
I'm just playing with you. Okay, so are you ready to go? Now, Jelesa, you've only got till what time?
I only have until noon, and I do not want to interrupt the powerful conversation that you guys are going to have. So I'm gonna drop off if that's okay with you, Stacie.
Of course.
Okay, thank you guys so much for always having me. It's always great to be in this space with you and sharing your stories, and I'll see you on the next one.
Well,
Thank you
just
for being
have a
here.
great holiday and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what do we want to do here? What are we doing, Stace? Tell me.
So this show, we kind of started teasing this topic a few minutes ago about the power of a toy.
Yeah.
And I started to talk.
Okay, I thought we were going to do one on Thanksgiving and one on Christmas, weren't we? That's why
Yeah, but we ended up kind of covering
I brought
both
that in
in
about
one
the
show,
toy.
which is fine. It's just
Yeah.
that we all need to come up with something that we want to talk about at Christmas.
You mean Thanksgiving? We just did Christmas. We really didn't talk much
That's
about
kind of
Thanksgiving.
bold because we talked
Yeah.
about
It was both.
thankful. So should we just do that one? I mean, it was good content. It could just be a holiday.
Yeah. Just do
What
that one.
we both, or we could do another one that's more pointed towards, because I know we,
Christmas
yeah,
specifically. Well,
You didn't think the last one was pointed more towards Christmas than Thanksgiving? We didn't even
we
talk
talked
about
about
Thanksgiving in the last
volunteering
one.
and giving back, and I feel like we kind of
standing
blended them
still,
both
being
together.
thankful.
Yeah, we could do that. Y'all can lead me by the nose. I had my head wrapped around, toy ideas by age groups. I've been
Oh,
interested in, like what does a toy do for
we
you?
could
Like
do
we
a
talked
gift
about,
guide.
huh?
We could
Why don't we
do
do
like
this?
because
Why
they
don't we
matter
do
gift
it?
guide.
Why don't we do a little bit? Why don't we? I read some, statistics earlier about, it was 1621 when the Pilgrims began Thanksgiving. That was the first Thanksgiving, and I thought we could have some fun and go. It's been over 400 years. 1621, and here we are in 2024, and just talk about how Thanksgiving, how you've spent your Thanksgiving, what it meant to you as a kid, and then saying, of course, just around the corner is Christmas, and then get into all those things that you talked about, Trace, that 20, 30, 40, or whatever that you just said. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. Can I have a bio break for 3 minutes?
A what?
I need a bio break.
A bio break. Is that a potty break?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Rhiannon and I'll go ahead and start the show, and then you just jump on when you want.
Okay.
It's a joke. It's another joke. No, don't disappear.
Get out of here.
Don't just
Done with you.
go to the bathroom.
I just ghosted you.
You what?
I ghosted you.
You sure did. You sure did. All right. Oh, she left again.
What time do you have today, Scott? Till noon?
I've got till 11:50.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I've got to whatever we need.
I was gonna say that might not work.
No, I've got till 12:30.
Okay, that's perfect.
So we're good to go. So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm busy. I'm wrapping up my semester of school here, so I have finals in the next week or so.
And what year is that?
So I'm actually in graduate school for my master's degree, so it's my first semester.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good
thank
for
you.
you. Oh,
So,
I'd be most proud for you. That's awesome.
yeah,
So,
thank you.
and what is it you're studying?
Social work.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So kind of goes hand in hand with what
I
we do.
can see you as a social worker. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
My
Well,
degree is, yeah,
my dream is to turn in Single But Not Alone to its own nonprofit and not just a passion project here to like what Stacie does and different things of that nature, but
right.
for more here in the Midwest. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah.
What's your BS and your BA degree, your undergrad?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice with a minor in psychology.
Okay. Oh, that psychology was my
Yes.
degree.
Yes.
Degree is in
Yeah. So
psychology.
they kind of go hand in hand into criminal justice and social
Yeah,
work,
sure they
dealing.
do.
My
Sure.
emphasis in my degree is with children and families. So
Well, that's super.
yeah, and I just started a new job internship with a domestic violence shelter. So I work at their family visitation center. So I'm working with families, going through custody and things of that nature.
That's all. And how old are you now?
I'm 23. I'll be 24 next month though.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
age